CFL on CBC. Brought to you by TELUS. Basic human communication.
Glorious October day for football here on Thanksgiving weekend, and it's all Calgary in the first half. The Stamps leading Hamilton 20-0 after one half of football. Well, the Canadian Football League might indeed be the only major league in North America that hands out an award each year based on nationality. Yes, the most outstanding Canadian is singled out in a Canadian league dominated by American players. Canadians are the bedrock of the CFL, hard-working, but increasingly on the periphery of the game. The legends of Canadian football, and they've left a rich history in this country, records and championships to inspire the next generation of homegrown players of three-down football.
Oh, yeah. Now that was airing nothing, pal.
I spent a lot of time with my dad out in the wintertime and catching footballs in the snow, and one of my favorite things to do would be to run out and try to keep your toes in balance on the sidelines and fall into a snowbank.
I used to come to the games when I was a kid with my family and you know, watch Tom Clemens and Dieter Brock and all the old quarterbacks, and always dreamed about playing for Hamilton. And 3 years ago, you know, I got my shot at it and I've been here ever since.
I started playing football my sophomore year in high school, and actually against my parents' will, and they finally let me, because the coaches would always badger them to let me play, and so finally I started playing. And then one thing led to another, and then I, you know, was offered scholarships to university and accepted. When played in college, and it's just kind of snowballed from there.
But a shrinking Canadian quota has limited Canadian positions on the depth chart. For the most part, they are the blockers and backups for their American teammates.
I played 4 years, all through high school at quarterback, got a scholarship at quarterback, 4 years at university. It came to my draft year, my 4th year, and I kind of looked, you know, I looked at the league, I looked ahead and said, you know, there's not a lot of opportunity to play as a Canadian quarterback. And I knew that if I was going to make it, I would have to come in, show I was an athlete. So I waived my draft year to my 5th year. I played slot back. I showed the versatility. And, you know, Calgary saw that. And I came in here, and Wally said to me the first day, listen, you're not going to play quarterback here. And I said, phew, you know.
Former Calgary Dino Don Blair is among the few Canadians at wide receiver, and he's proud of it.
I just didn't want to play. I wanted to, you know, be a contributor and be a star in this league, and that's still my goal. You know, I stand back with Giz and return punts, and the crowd goes crazy, and all I hear is Gizmo, Gizmo, and you know, and part of that gets me. You know, part of that sort of fires me up a little bit and says, you know, one of these days they're gonna know who I am, and right now they don't, but that's gonna change.
One of those young Canadians, Vince Danielson of the Stampeders, establishing his credentials here today, going over 1,000 yards in a season for the first time in his career. And his Stampeders have a lock on this one after the half. It's 20-0 Calgary. The Hamilton Tiger Cats broke a 9-game losing streak 1 week ago at home, but they've yet to show up here in Calgary, down 20-0 to the hometown Stampeders at the half. Well, we're planning something awfully special for Grey Cup week this year in Edmonton. During the week, we will celebrate the game by presenting in their entirety 5 classic Grey Cups of all time. Now, we have narrowed the list down to 10, and we're asking fans to help us narrow that down to the final 5. There you see the picks that the CFL on CBC commentators have selected. We ran into Russ Jackson yesterday here. He's a commentator for the Hamilton radio, and he was putting in a word for the 68 Grey Cup. Of course, when he and Margene Atkins and Vic Washington beat the Stampeders 24-21. And Chris Walby, who's in our EVS suite today, looking behind the scenes, continues to lobby for 1988 when he won. What's he got for us now behind the scenes?
Thank you, Mark. Hey, it may be 20-0 here in Calgary on this beautiful Thanksgiving Day, but there's still a lot of action happening on the field, and here are some of the highlights I picked from the first half. Take a look at Roger Ryanson, leading special team tackler for the Stampeders, going downfield. Now, he's got 24 tackles coming into this game. He's 3rd in the league, but he has to realize you must never, ever let up, because as he starts to slow up right here, he's going to get a wake-up call. Here comes the turkey pace by Kennever. That's how you get basted. Take a look at this play. You want to stop the run? Calvin Anderson hasn't had a whole lot of yards rushing. Mike Philbrick, take 2 people, allow Calvin Tingle to come in and make the play. That's how you stop Anderson from rushing for a lot of yards. Another play we like to do here as an offensive line is to shift. Try and draw the defensive lineman offside. They do that. They get both Philbrick and Eric Carter, get another opportunity to kick the field goal. And my last highlight, the one that I like right here, take a look at this. We got a counter play. You think it's tough in the pitch? Watch Princeton goes down, cuts Jermaine Miles, but no, Jermaine Miles hits him on the ankle, puts him out. This is a rough sport, people. This is what it's all about. Thanksgiving Monday, a lot of turkey plays, a lot of things happening. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Chris Walby with the plays behind the scenes. He loves the trenches, doesn't he?
Let me get this straight. He wants the 88 Grey Cup, and we're not going to let him have it? I mean, who's telling him no?
Yeah, I'm not, that's for sure. Hey, listen, what about the Ticats? Speaking of turkeys, boys, no points in the first half. What do they got to do to get back in this one?
Well, it's difficult. They've got a poor record. They're struggling on offense. They've played super defense. They've just been on the field a lot. They need to come out and just establish some short things. Just move the chains. I think when you start thinking about trying to get back, there's no 20-point play in the whole game, so they just got to get back bit by bit.
2 first downs. Their net yards in the first half, 10. So,
well, Ricky Foggy was talking to me about the slippery ball, and if that's an excuse, so be it, but he certainly has not been passing with authority. Here's the address, folks, if you're going to...
Higher halftime stats, I'm not sure we've seen them as lopsided as this year.
Well, Calgary's a good defense, but this is ridiculous. Hamilton just come out and not even shown up on offense. They've given up 18 first downs on defense, but that's because they've been on the field so long. Jeff's really has operated at a high level today. He's got Anderson involved, Pitts, and his boys are all there. You see everybody is involved. The probably surprising thing is that Terry Vaughn has only caught 1 pass, and you'll probably see a couple more before this is over with. So they've operated extremely well. Jeff's gotten everybody involved, and that's when Calgary's offense actually works its best, is when he distributes the football and gets everyone involved, including the running game and Calvin Anderson. And
this is what kind of afternoon it's been. It's halftime, and we're signing autographs.
Oh, like we said, he's getting everybody involved. You know things are going your way if you're signing autographs at halftime.
Well, 3 long scoring drives for Calgary. Hamilton won the toss but deferred to get the win in the 4th quarter. I thought they'd be anxious to get the football and get something going, but instead it's Marvin Coleman. And look at Coleman flying up to the 50 before he's hauled down by Ken Abraire. 35-yard return for Coleman. And it was a Marvin Coleman kickoff in the final minute of the game 3 weeks ago that really put the Stampeders in position to come back and win that game.
Well, he leads the league in average. He averages 24 yards a return, and he shows you why. He gets good blocking from the other players on the field and then finds the crease and gets up the field. But you're right, the big kickoff late in that ball game set up the win. Now he's given them great field position to start the second half.
Jeff Garcia threw for more in the first half against Hamilton than in the 60 minutes of the opening meeting between these two teams. And Garcia looking for more. Calvin Anderson can't hang on at the Hamilton 35.
Well, that's a mismatch there for Hamilton's defense, for Calgary's offense, when they get Justin Ring isolated on Calvin Anderson. Ring just really, he didn't really seize the ball coming. Anderson tries to adjust back to the ball thrown towards the sideline, and he's the first guy to tell you probably should have come up with the catch. But this is part of that killer instinct on offense. They let Edmonton come back. They come right out throwing to not allow Hamilton a shot.
Anderson on 2nd and 10, and he's hauled down by Ring at the 54. Close to 5 on the carry, but it will be 3rd down. Stampeders with an 89-yard touchdown drive, a 92-yard drive, and they also went 78 yards in 9 plays in the first half for a field goal. So this Hamilton offense has not had the ball very often. Driving punt by Martino. This time Rogers does let it bounce in and through the end zone. And another single point for Tony Martino. That's a 76-yarder, and it's a 21-0 Calgary lead.
You know, I think Jeff Garcia was real pleased about the play. They ran the little counter draw play on 2nd and 10, and he came out shaking his head. He's talking to Danny Barrett there, and Danny's talking about, he mentioned the safety. Obviously, they would like to do something in the little field. Be careful about throwing if the safety's coming down. But I don't think he was happy with the run play on 2nd and 10 on that last series.
1st and 10 for Ricky Foggy and the Hamilton offense.
Well, let's see if Hamilton can get it going in the second half. Archie Amerson.
The ball carrier.
He's nailed just beyond the line of scrimmage. Landry Johnson's in there. Marvin Pope hanging on.
Anthony McClanahan also in on the tackle.
Well, Ricky Foggy being in the game changes their game plan, obviously, a little bit.
And Marvin Pope staying down.
Marvin in a little bit of pain after that running play by Archie Amerson. With Anthony Calvillo, they would like to spread the field out, put 5 receivers on the field, and then isolate Archie Amerson. But now with Foggy in the game, they're staying 2 backs and doing a little bit more rolling.
And while Pope gets attention, we'll take a timeout here in Calgary. 6-year veteran Marvin Pope, Big Daddy, continues to get attention from Pat Clayton. Jeff Traversy has checked in to replace Pope. And slowly Marvin sitting up. A little concerned when they're looking at the neck.
Well, if it was a serious neck situation, he wouldn't be sitting up like that. I think what they're testing for is a little bit of a burn, or you get a little burn in the shoulder or in the lower neck there, and I think that's what they're checking. If he had a neck problem, they wouldn't be standing him up like that. Marvin Pope is right up here. He's going to shoot inside to try to make this play. You see him knife through and sticks his shoulder in there on Archie Amerson.
91, getting some help to the sideline.
And you get in some really bent over situations when you're falling into a pile. Other bodies are falling on top of you, and it looked like Marvin got twisted a little bit, and a couple of players fell on top of him.
So slowly Marvin Pope makes his way to the Calgary bench.
7 yards to go.
And Jeff Traversy, the rookie, is into the game. And the Ticats looking at 2nd and 7. Foggy stands in, and that hit Darrell Hall, intended for Archie Amerson out of the backfield.
Right on Darrell Hall's back.
Well, the ball was thrown behind the receiver, but the receiver never really gives an angle to throw the football for Ricky Foggy. Amerson has to snap that route up the field, establish himself going vertically, and then break to the sideline, allow Ricky Foggy to get set and throw the ball. He was already to the sidelines before Ricky was ready to unload it. You have to throw that one on the rookie's shoulders, the young running back.
Baldison's been busy. Rush on, and he barely got it away. Coleman on one hop, and away he goes. Marvin Coleman, and he was just tripped up by Cooper Harris, or Coleman may have scored. Marvin Coleman comes up smiling, and everything's going the Stampeders' way. That was a 32-yard return.
The rivers up here are a beautiful thing. They can transport you. They can feed you. And they can keep your beer really cold. This is Wildcat Country, home of Labatt Wildcat. Brewed with no preservatives for a natural, smooth taste.
First thing you pulled out of the water all day.
1, 2, 3. At taco time. $1 crisp tacos. $2 soft tacos. $3 steak or chicken fajitas. Do it at Taco Time. $1, $2, and $3 deals for a limited time. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 at Taco Time.
When it comes to shopping for auto parts, come into UAP Napa, because you can trust your local UAP Napa Auto Parts store for superior parts availability, expert advice, and friendly service. UAP Napa. We have the right parts for your import or domestic car or truck. So when you need quality parts and accessories, put your trust in UAP Napa Auto Parts. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
His favorite,
Archie Amerson has had a super rookie year, but he let his quarterback down, I believe, on this last play. Archie Amerson is in the slot right here. What he needs to do is come up the field, establish himself vertically, and then break to the sideline. Give his quarterback some time to throw, but watch Daryl Hall get the jam. Pushes him towards the sideline now. When he breaks to the sideline, there's no room. Quarterback doesn't have any area to throw the football in.
Short field for the Stampeders, starting at the Hamilton 41, and Garcia looking for all of it to Pitts, touchdown. Jeff Garcia, Alan Pitts, 41 yards.
Oh, we had a shot of Garcia talking to Danny Barrett on the sidelines a few minutes ago, and you have to kind of wonder if this isn't what they were discussing. He said, make sure you watch where the safety goes. The safety was out of the play, and he went over the top to Alan Pitts. I have to think that this is what Danny Barrett was talking about with Alan Pitts and Jeff Garcia.
For Alan Pitts, it's his 88th career touchdown, and that ties Tom Scott for second on the all-time CFL touchdown receiving list.
Rob Hitchcock doesn't get enough depth. Number 42, the free safety, that's his ball. The halfback has to know he has help to the inside from his free safety.
Mark McLaughlin adds the point after, and the Stamps up their lead to 28-0. Well, he's going to the Hall of Fame, and he's closing in on Brian Kelly. 5 catches on the afternoon, 87 yards.
Well, Alan Pitts upgrades this team just so much. There's so many things that people have to defend against because he's in the lineup. His ability to go down the field as he displays here, his ability to read coverage. He makes all the tough catches. Good throw from Garcia to hit him in stride. He made the great catch 3 weeks ago against Hamilton to win the football game for him, essentially give him a chance to get the ball in the end zone on a Garcia quarterback sneak. But a good read by Garcia. He saw that the free safety was not in the middle of the field where he needed to be, and Alan Pitts split the seam, and the ball was right on the money.
He may be number 1 on all the receiving categories before his career's over. Yonel Jourdain, and Jourdain breaks through. Finally pulled down by Al Jordan at the 50-yard line. Here's Chris Walby.
Well, guys, let me tell you something. When you're up 27-0, you can do a lot of things on defense. You can have some fun. Watch Jeff Traversy in the bubble here. You can run in a line stunt. Bronzell and Brown come inside. He loops around. He's causing all kinds of confusion to the offensive line of Hamilton, causing them problems. They can't pass. They can't run.
And Jourdain got 40 on that back on the kickoff.
And now Jeff Traversy down. He came in to replace Marvin Pope in the last defensive series. And Marvin is at the Calgary bench and still shaking off the effects of his injury. Alan Pitts has played in this just his 9th game of the year, so he's at the halfway point of his season. He's over 700 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns now in the year, so that's not a bad half year's work.
That's phenomenal. He's come in and he's actually averaging more yards per catch than he's averaged throughout his career at 18 yards a reception.
Here again, Mark Lee.
Chris, there's Marvin Pope convalescing on the Stampeder bench. They've just removed a large ice pack from the back of his neck. The early prognosis is that it's a muscle injury in the back of the neck, but as you can see, he's in quite a bit of discomfort and having a hard time keeping his head upright.
So the Stampeders getting a little thin on the defensive line at the moment. Traversy, though, bounces up.
As special teams are hard to play, and Jeff Traversy's role on this team has been backup defensive lineman and play a lot of special teams. You know, he and his wife just a month ago had a daughter, Jade. He and his wife, Candace, and he probably hadn't been getting a lot of sleep lately, so that may be he may have decided to just lay down and take a nap for a while.
Well, it's been an area revamped by the Stampeders, their defensive line. This is a team just in the last couple of years has lost Will Johnson, Stu Laird, Harold Hasselback, Rodney Harding, Strucko Zizakovic. So they've gone through some great people in the last couple of years there, and I know Wally Bono says that the CFL is predicated on the pass rush, so there's the rushing of Archie Amerson.
Archie Amerson, number 9, takes the
hit at the end of that play from Anthony McClanahan and a 2-yard pickup
Eddie Davis,
for
number
Amerson.
29, and Anthony McClanahan, number 41.
Just a couple of first downs for Hamilton.
Gain of about 2
Well, the
yards,
change up the
second and
defensive
8.
front was to put Raymond Biggs in the game at the end position. They don't lose a stride. They put Biggs in the ball game. He's 6'1", 218 pounds. He comes in. He's played at linebacker both inside and out, and now playing defensive end a little bit.
Anthony McClanahan back in that defense after missing 2 weeks because of injury. Foggy over the middle and nearly picked through the hands of John Calum, the safety. Prince Wimbley was the intended receiver. And Calum would like another shot at that one.
Well, Ricky's got a good arm, but well, he puts a lot of smoke on this one. The reason Kalen doesn't catch this is because it's shot out of a cannon. And it's well overthrown. Wimbley's going to come inside, and the ball just sails right over the top of his head. Kalen just can't corral that one because it's thrown so hard.
9 possessions for the Tiger Cats in the game, 6 times. So they've gone 2 and out. Once again, Osbaldiston hurried on the punt, and Marvin Coleman on the return. At the 25, Obi Spanik, one of the first men down, 9-yard return, 41-yard Osbaldiston punt, the busiest of the Tiger Cats.
Also promising signs on the Stampeder bench. That's Jeff Traversy up and around. The prognosis from trainer Pat Clayton is that he just had the wind knocked out of him, and there's a good sign. Marvin Pope is up, and he has been loosening up the neck. Good signs for the Stamps, Chris.
Plenty of good signs on the scoreboard, too. And now they take over at their own 25, a 28-0 lead. Here, still early in the third quarter. Kelvin Anderson stripped of the football, and Garcia alertly gets back on it. It's another area where the Stampeders have been impressive this year, Dave. They really have limited